This is how things actually work.
Number 1, did you know alligators really don't swim? When alligators are in water, they actually just walk like humans on their 2 back legs. Number 2, I bet you've never seen this. This is how ladybugs take off and fly. It's kind of like a transformer. Number 3, this is how dogs drink water. They bend their tongue back into a bowl figure so they can get as much water as they can every drink they take. Number 4, this is how a pufferfish transforms into a normal looking fish in a matter of seconds. It's a defense mechanism to keep them safe. Finally, number 5, this is a rocket taking off from our planet. This shows how small the world really is.
This is what we see versus what kids see.
Number 1, what we see is just a typical looking living room with a couch. Versus what kids see, the floor is lava. If you go into this lava, it's over. Number 2, what we see is a fort made by blankets in a house, probably made by a kid. Versus what kids see, it isn't just a fort, it was a castle filled with your imagination. Number 3, this is what we see, just a regular cement curb. Versus what kids see, this wasn't just a curb, this was a balance beam. Number 4, this is what we see, just a normal looking bed, right? Versus what kids see, a trampoline. And in a hotel room, you pretty much had 2 free trampolines. Number 5, what we see is a dentist just doing his job. Versus what kids see, dentists are evil and are out to hurt you. And finally, number 6, this is what we see, just a couple showing love for each other. Versus what kids see, yeah, this was cooties.
Lies parents told you as a kid.
Number 1, that if you swallow gum, it will stay in your stomach for 7 years. Yeah, this is false. You would actually just poop it out in a couple days. Number 2, that coffee will stunt your growth. This is false. All it would do is make a hyper kid have even more energy. Number 3, that if you eat your carrots, you will get night vision or better eyesight. Unfortunately, this is false. All it will do is make your eyes more healthy. But if you do eat enough carrots, your skin could turn orange. Number 4, if you keep growing cross-eyed, you'll stay like that forever. Well, this is just simply incorrect. Nothing will happen. Number 5, that cracking your knuckles will give you arthritis. This is incorrect. And knuckle cracking is actually just nitrogen going into a joint. Number 6, that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Yeah, this chocolate milk came from the same cow your white milk came from. Number 7, that sitting too close to the TV will give you eye pain. Scientists actually studied this and that's not true at all. Nothing will happen to your eyes.
Vision hacks you are able to do.
Number 1, night vision. Using electronics at night makes it hard to see in the dark. But you don't need to put your phone down, just close one eye. Keep the one eye closed for about 30 seconds and the other eye focused on your phone. And when you open your closed eye, you should be able to see in the dark. This method also works when you're in a very lit area going into a dark area, so try it out. Number 2, this is how to see without glasses. Make a circle with your thumb and index finger like the picture above. After that, put it up to one of your eyes with one eye closed. With your glasses off, the screen might look like this. Your hand will work like a camera. Your vision will be much clearer than before. Number 3, the phantom hand. Firstly, for this to work, go into a dark room and wear a blindfold or close your eyes. Then, start waving your hand in front of your face. It doesn't work for many, but if it does, it's totally weird. You will see a phantom hand in front of your face.
Movies that predicted the future, Part 1.
Number 1, in 1993, the Super Mario Bros. Movie predicted 9/11. Towards the end of the film, 2 parallel dimensions merge. This causes the Twin Towers to disintegrate, and if you look really closely, there's a plane flying in the back. This shot highly resembles the destruction of the towers that happened 8 years later. Number 2, in 1993, Jurassic Park says you can make dinosaurs through their DNA. This sounds totally like a myth, but it might not be. Let me tell you why. Scientists have discovered woolly mammoth DNA inside of a dead Asian elephant. They want to test this DNA into dinosaur-like animals that are living on the earth today. No, it will not be the exact copy of a woolly mammoth or dinosaur, but it will be the closest thing we have to dinosaurs today. So maybe in the years ahead, we might see dinosaurs roaming the earth again. Number 3, the 2001 movie Space Odyssey predicted several things. They predicted tablet computers, FaceTime, and even Siri. But the main prediction was space tourism. And in 2021, space tourism will be a thing.
The Simpsons predicting the future, Part 1.
Number 1, The Simpsons predicted 9/11 in 1997. This is the bus advertisement in The Simpsons that promised $9 tickets to New York. But you can see the 9 perfectly lines up with the Twin Towers, making it 9/11. And 4 years later, the tragic event of 9/11 happened in New York. Number 2, in 1999, The Simpsons said Donald Trump was the US president. This was all just a joke at the time. But in 2016, this wasn't so much of a joke because Donald Trump was elected as president. Number 3, in 2012, The Simpsons predicted Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime performance. And in 2017, Lady Gaga almost had the exact same Super Bowl halftime performance. To make it even more crazy, at the start of both performances, they were both suspended from the air. And finally, number 4, in 1990, Bart and Lisa caught a three-eyed fish outside of a nuclear power plant. And in 2011, a fisherman in Argentina caught the first three-eyed fish outside of a nuclear power plant. So the real question is, what will they predict next?
People who got exposed on the internet, part 1.
Lele Pons posted this picture on Instagram saying she cut off her hair and donated it to charity. But it didn't take people long to notice this was actually just hair extensions. This man posted a selfie on Facebook saying stuck in traffic, but the reflection in his glasses say otherwise. Lindsay Lohan posted this photo to Instagram in 2015. Well, honestly, I've never seen a curving door frame before. This man right here went on an online dating app to find his next love. But did he really think no one would notice he pasted his face onto Bradley Cooper's head? Sam Smith said he couldn't meet with his fans after a show because he was feeling sick and wanted to go to sleep. But that was a lie. Sam tweeted out later that night, best night ever at a karaoke bar in Nashville. This woman claims she got 125 on her IQ test, not realizing when you share the link, it reveals your real score and it was actually 85.
The Simpsons predicted 2020.
Number 1, Kobe Bryant's death by helicopter. In an episode in 2013, Kobe Bryant was in a helicopter, his favorite way to travel. But in this episode in 2013, Kobe's pilot crashed and Kobe died. Number 2, the coronavirus. In an episode in 1993, they have overseas workers cough into a box and send it to the US. The box then was sent to the US and the virus spread everywhere. The people then had riots asking for a cure for the coronavirus. Number 3, the murder hornets. In the same episode as the coronavirus in 1993, The Simpsons had killer bees. This is the pretty much same thing we have today with the murder hornets. In this episode, the killer bees came from overseas, but also the murder hornets come from overseas. Number 4, riots for justice. They broke into stores and stole valuable electronics. They started to burn down the city, even the police station. They protested all over the city. So what will The Simpsons predict next?
You won't believe these jobs actually exist.
Number 1, naming movies at Pixar. This is an incredibly easy job. All you have to do with this job is to come up with names for Pixar movies, that's it. People who have this position make $700,000 a year. One man who had this position got a $300,000 bonus for coming up with the name Cars. Number 2, a professional sleeper. A professional sleeper is someone who gets paid to sleep. They generally do this for scientists to analyze people's sleep patterns, or also as a mattress tester. You can make up to $100,000 a year for just sleeping. Number 3, a scuba diving pizza delivery man. This is an underwater hotel in Key Largo, Florida. The residents need to eat right, so there is a scuba diving pizza delivery man. His job is to deliver pizza in the sea in a water tank case. Let's just say they better tip good.
The most heavily protected vaults in the world.
Number 1, the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. 80 feet below this bank lies a top secret vault in the bedrock. There's only one elevator you can access to get to this vault. The elevator has a secret password only few people know. After that, the only entrance to the vault is a 9-foot tall, 90-ton steel door. The door is also air and watertight. Cameras will be watching you at all times. The Federal Reserve actually have their own police force to protect this vault. In the vault, there lies $200 billion worth of gold. Number 2, the Coca-Cola recipe. The original formula was made in 1886 by John Pemberton. It was kept top secret. Only a few people ever have laid eyes on the recipe. The top secret recipe lies at a vault at the World of Coca-Cola Museum. Even Coca-Cola's executives and workers don't even know the recipe. The ingredients come into the factory unlisted, although we do know some of the ingredients due to the FDA requirements. But if you want to know the special ingredients, you have to get into the vault. Only 2 people alive are allowed in this vault.
These actors took things way too far.
Number 1, Adrian Brody. In The Pianist, Brody played the lead role. He's a Polish-Jewish musician in World War II that survived the Holocaust. The 6'1" Brody went on an intense 6-week diet before filming. By this, he lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks and now weighed 130 pounds. Brody wanted to get a glimpse into his character's actual life. 1 year before filming, Brody sold his car, disconnected his phone, and moved to Europe in total isolation for 365 days. It took him half a year to recover from this film. Brody says the film still haunts him to this day. Number 2, Nicolas Cage. In the movie Birdie, Cage plays a disfigured Vietnam veteran. Cage wanted to experience the physical pain and discomfort his character had. At 19 years old, he had his wisdom teeth removed while being awake and no pain medicines at all. Before the filming ever began, Cage wore his face bandages day and night for months.
These actors took things way too far.
Number 1. Christian Bale. For The Machinist in 2004, Christian Bale was the lead actor, but he also put his life in danger for this. For this role, Christian Bale lost 63 pounds and survived off an apple and a can of tuna fish a day. And if that wasn't enough, he then gained 106 pounds in 6 months for his role in Batman. Number 2. Heath Ledger when he played the role as the Joker. He was 27 when he was casted as the Joker. He wanted to be the best Joker there ever was. He read all the Joker comic books relative to his film and meditated on it. He locked himself into a hotel room for 6 weeks. He created a Joker diary to get into the psychopath's head. When playing the Joker, he said it was very stressful. He had to take periods of breaks and could only sleep 2 hours at night. He then started taking sleeping medications at night. Unfortunately, he ended up dying at night due to the mix of prescriptions he was taking. He never got to see the finished movie and the Oscar he earned.
If you see this, you are being watched.
Number 1. If you see this, call the police. You are being watched. These are 2 types of coat hangers found in bathrooms and changing rooms. If you see one with 1 hook, it's totally normal, but if you see one with 2, beware. These 2 hook coat hangers record sound and footage at all times. They are actually extremely easy to get. They were meant for homeowners, but that's not the case. Number 2. If you see this, do not touch it. You are being watched. Like any human would do, you go to the parking lot, find your car, unlock it, and start the ignition. But then you see money on your windshield, so you get out of the car and go get it. But right when you did that, you just lost your car, documentaries, and wallet. A criminal placed that money there and was watching you the whole time. But right when you got out of the car to examine the money on your windshield, you probably left your car unlocked and your ignition was still on. This is when a criminal would take action. They would jump in your car and drive off with all your belongings. This is actually a common trick among criminals, so beware.
I guarantee you didn't know how big these things actually were. Part 2.
Number 1. This is a huge African land snail. I didn't think snails could ever get this big, but this snail can actually grow to about 1 foot long. Number 2. People are starting to breed giant pigs. Don't ask me why this man is casually just taking his pig on a walk. These pigs people are now breeding could be over 1,500 pounds and be over 6 foot long. Looks more like a cow than a pig to me. Number 3. A gorilla's hand compared to a human's. A gorilla's hand could palm your whole face. Number 4. Tigers are actually massive. Look at this comparison between a human and a tiger. Number 5. This is the tallest man ever compared to the 7'1", 365-pound Shaq. And to give you guys a comparison, this is the average height of a human. And finally, number 6, a wombat. These things are huge. These animals could be up to 4 feet and weigh about 80 pounds. However, these animals are only found in Australia.
I'm about to read your palms and tell you what it means.
Okay, the first step is put your hands together and observe what line pattern you have. Now that you have analyzed your hands' line patterns, let me tell you what this means. It could be much deeper than you think. Number 1, if your left hand line is lower than your right. This means you are independent and do not care what other people think about you. You keep your opinion to yourself and you will become very wise over the years. And finally, it says that you are a very romantic person. Number 2, if your left hand line is higher than your right. This means you're an aggressive person but you love challenges. You are self-confident and you don't rush into relationships. You can easily overcome hardships. You are purposeful and independent. And finally, number 3, if your lines are the same. This means you're strong-minded and probably charming. You're gentle and also can be sensitive. You care about other people's opinions. You want a stable relationship. You crave love but do not go around asking for it.
I guarantee you didn't know how big these things actually were.
This right here is a saltwater crocodile compared to a human. These crocodiles can actually grow up to 20 feet long and be over 2,000 pounds. This right here is how many Earths could fit in the sun. It said it would take 1.3 million Earths to fill up the sun. This is a manta ray compared to a human. It said these animals could grow up to 23 feet and be over 6,000 pounds. This is a regular sized cruise ship compared to the Titanic. It said the Titanic was around 880 feet long while the regular cruise ship is around 1,200 feet long. This right here is the Egyptian pyramid of Giza compared to a person. And finally, a moose. These things are actually huge. They could grow up to 1,000 pounds, but that's not it. They could be over 10 feet tall.
3 terrifying animals you're glad are extinct.
Number 1, the Megalodon shark. This animal grew to 60 feet long and one tooth could be the size of a human. Megalodons were meat-eating creatures that could kill about anything. We're definitely glad these sharks aren't around anymore because if they were, the ocean would be off limits. Number 2, the Titanoboa. This snake weighed around 2,000 pounds, but it was also 40 feet long. These snakes killed their prey with constriction. They would suffocate them to death. Number 3, the Caprosuchus. This animal is like if a T-Rex and a crocodile had a baby. It looks like a crocodile, but it has long legs and can run very fast. I can assure you, you won't be able to outrun this guy.
The Bermuda Triangle mystery has finally been solved.
The Bermuda Triangle is located between Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. This area, in fact, is said to be the most dangerous space in the ocean. In this area, there has been more than 50 ships and 20 airplanes suddenly disappear. In some of these cases, they found the boats and planes at the bottom of the ocean rotting away. But however, there have been boats and planes that were passing through this location that suddenly disappeared, leaving no trace at all. The real question is how? Well, I'm about to tell you. In this notorious area, scientists have found unusual hexagonal clouds. The way these clouds are formed could act like air bombs. These hexagonal clouds, in fact, could create dangerous blasts of air succeeding 180-mile-per-hour winds. These hurricane winds would blow up the air and generate waves more than 45 feet. No ship could survive such a storm and no plane could survive such winds. And if this deadly hexagonal cloud was big enough, it could shatter a boat or plane. Also, these deadly air blasts could send the shattered pieces many miles away from where it occurred. Lesson learned, do not go to the Bermuda Triangle.
If you dream this, do not ignore it.
Dreams could actually tell more about yourself than you know. Number 1, flying. This means that you are ready to make bold decisions in your life and change it completely. Number 2, falling. This means that you are losing control of something in your life. If someone pushed you, this means you are putting too much pressure on yourself. Number 3, being lost. This means you are lost in society. The anxiety and panic in a dream is really how you feel deep down. If you can't find your way home in a dream, this means that you are postponing an event that is very important to you. Number 4, being chased. This means you are trying to avoid something in real life. Also, this means that you tend to keep feelings to yourself. Number 5, losing teeth. This means you are afraid of losing your attractiveness and growing older. Number 6, dreaming that you are naked. This means that you are afraid of being judged. Number 7, meeting a celebrity. This means you want to be loved and have more attention in your life. So if you dream any of these, do not ignore them.
Here are some events that will happen by the year 2050.
The sad truth is, by the year 2050, half of the world's population will not have access to clean drinking water. Half of the Amazon rainforest will be deforested, leaving many animals without any shelter at all. In 2025, SpaceX is sending their first cargo ship to Mars, and if all goes well, they are sending their first humans to Mars by the year 2050. So who knows, maybe by 2050 we will have the first civilization on Mars. Animals are getting more dangerous and more powerful every year. Animals are evolving every day, becoming more of a threat to society. I'm not talking about your regular house pet, I'm talking about wild animals. For instance, in 2020, we found the first flying spider, your worst nightmare. You thought the coronavirus was bad? Well, by 2050, there could be more deadly viruses affecting the world than ever before. You better keep that face mask. The population will be 9.6 billion.